So Apple a few moments ago announced the brand new iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. And you know what? I didn't think I was going to be that excited about it, but there are a few key things that I'm kind of actually really looking forward to. So what are they? Let's get right to it. So yes, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is coming out, and while there's not earth-shattering changes in it, I do think there's a few actual good things in here that would be a reason to upgrade or purchase it if this is your first Pro Max. So let's head over to their product page and check out what all the hubbub is about. Bub. That's from Bugs Bunny. So the 15 Pro, now it's made of, this year, one of the big key line features is it's made out of titanium. And this actually, if we're kind of jumping to the part of the phone that I'm most excited about, is that titanium edge. Holy crap, that thing looks gorgeous. But it's not just how it looks that I'm most excited about. If you've watched any of my Pro Max videos about the 12 Pro Max, the 13 Pro Max, the 14 Pro Max, my biggest complaint is that while I love the frosted back of the phone, it's amazing, it does not take fingerprints. The stainless steel edge is literally a fingerprint magnet. It's like they designed the materials of this system to purposefully hold fingerprints, and I hate it. That's the whole reason I'm always using a case. But I think, can you see this? With that like burnished matte finish of the new titanium edge, I bet, and I'm excited to see, whether or not I'll even need a case, because that doesn't look like it holds fingerprints at all. That phone case looks gorgeous. Like I'm so excited about that by itself. Like that might be the biggest thing for me, period. But there are a few other things that we'll talk about as we go along. So yes, it does have the brand new A17 Pro processor. Processors in cell phones, they're great to have, right? It's exciting. Everybody likes seeing the numbers in the bar chart go up. It doesn't really do too much for me. The most important thing about these processors is longevity, and I think Apple's fully proven to us by now that they really take longevity and lifespan of their devices seriously. I mean, we're still seeing old phones get the latest updates, and no other company does that. Yes, Android manufacturers, as we've seen, have started doing better in that front, but nobody matches Apple. What else do we have here? So we talked about the A17. We'll talk about we already talked about the titanium. We'll talk about the cameras here in a second. And then the new action buttons. The design looks incredible. I think the color I'm going to get is going to be the blue titanium. I'm going to be real with y'all. That looks incredible. Like, that is a gorgeous phone. Man, we could just spend the whole video rotating this around. I think that would be pretty fun. This is the Pro. Boom, here's the Pro Max. Look at that gigantic. That is a gigantic but yet beautiful phone. I'm excited to check it out. So the A17 Pro, they say it's 20% faster, 4x faster ray tracing, 10% faster CPU. All of that, none of that matters. If you're looking strictly from power to power, do not upgrade. It's not worth it. I really like what Apple does. Their chips are extremely powerful, but last year's chip is still extremely powerful. I mean, they put it in the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. Looking to the cameras, we again have a triple camera system with a 48 megapixel in the main camera sensor. This will still allow you to do the regular mode, but also the telephoto mode inside of it, where it will crop in on that. So if you do the normal, the widest version of the main camera, you'll get a 48 megapixel still image. If you do the crop in, they'll crop in on the sensor, so you'll get a 24 megapixel image at 2x zoom, which is cool. It's really nice to have that kind of capability. But when it comes to specific megapixels, no, if you're an average person, you're not going to care specifically about the megapixels themselves. Next generation portraits. What I thought was coolest about the portrait side of the presentation was that now all your photos are portrait photos. It's got enough AI and machine learning built into the system where after you take a picture, you can then decide if you want it to be a portrait photo or not, which also gets you depth information that you can change after the fact. I think that is really impressive, and that's actually something pretty useful. So you can see here, they've taken one picture, but you can focus on either the person or the fan. That's pretty darn cool. This time around, we will also get a fairly substantial zoom camera. Normally for iPhones, you get a pretty standard set of what are essentially prime lenses, and then you go from there, with 75, 85 kind of being the max without digitally zooming. But now it looks like we're getting 120 millimeters of zoom, which you can see here, replay, we'll go from 1x to 5x. When they say optical, what they mean is like that's a physical zoom on a lens, or maybe a physical cropping on the sensor. It's not a digital zoom. Like for an optical zoom, I would zoom in on that lens. For a digital zoom, that's where they do like fancy stuff in the background. Another cool addition this year to the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Pro lineup is an action button. We initially saw this on the Apple Watch Ultra, and that's become a very big way in which I use my Apple Watch Ultra. That's how I have it set to start run, so all I have to do is I hit it, everything's good to go when I step outside. So I am kind of excited to see this on the phone itself. You can see here some of the things you can do with it. You can turn it into silent mode because we will be giving up the little silent switch to get this. You can turn on focus mode, camera, flashlight, voice memo, all sorts of really cool stuff. Am I excited to give up my little silent switch? No, but it's always in silence anyway, so maybe it'll be nice to have some additional functionality built into that. The other really big change this year, as we can see here, gigablast your gigabits, is the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max will be moving to having USB-C for charging as opposed to Lightning, and I really like this change. It's not that I dislike Lightning. Lightning was fine in its time, but I like having standardization of my charging cables. I don't like having a whole bunch of different cables for different things. I don't like having a cable for my AirPods. I don't like having a different cable for my phone, my computer, etc. Now, Apple did not necessarily want to do this. They're being forced to do this. So I'm happy that they're doing it, but I'm not necessarily giving them gigantic points because they didn't do this on their own. USB-C, I think, is going to be, yes, it'll transfer your files faster, whatever thing they're doing to sell that. I think just I'll be able to carry less cables, or I'll be able to carry the same amount of cables and get redundancy in case I lose my cables, because spoilers, I lose my cables a lot. So I'm very happy to see this, but Apple, you should have done this on your own recognizance sooner. It says we'll have up to 29 hours of battery life. I think that's incredible. I mainly think that if you've got over 18 hours of usable life on a phone or a tech device, functionally between that and like never having to charge it ever, there's no real difference in between that. It just has to get me through a solid day or two without having to worry about it. I've never had a problem with the Pro Max. The battery on these things is insane. And they did make a very big part of bringing in Mother Nature to talk about their environmental goals, and I'm really happy to hear about that. I hope more companies take the environment and our sustainable life on this one planet we have. So I will always be happy to see companies take that seriously. What we've got here is we've got 100% recycled aluminum. I believe they said the logic board is also 100% recycled copper, in addition to the MagSafe charging in the back. Let's sustain it. We all got to live on this planet, right? We got to take care of it. Let's sustain it properly. So let's go over to pricing and see how much this is going to set us back when we pre-order this in a couple of days, or if you're coming to this from a pre-order party. Do people have pre-order parties? I don't know. If you're coming to this from a pre-order party, let me know in the comments below if you did that and why you did that. But let's check out the price. So the 15 Pro Max is going to start at $1199, which kind of hurts. Natural titanium, blue titanium, white titanium, or black titanium. That black titanium looks good too, but I think I'm going to go with the blue titanium. I'm just going to stick with the base model storage. I never go, look, here's my iPhone 14 Pro Max. I take photos on this darn thing all of the time. This is my main family camera and my main backpacking camera. I've used 65 of 128 gigabytes, so I will not be going more than that. 256 at the base model will be more than enough. You could also go up to 1 terabyte for $15.99. So that is the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I'm actually kind of excited about that this year for the titanium finish, the action button, and the USB-C. But what about you? Are you excited about this? Are you planning on pre-ordering one? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, click here to see how my recent experimentation with Android went. Click, 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 click. Thanks for watching.